wheels. Barnaby, now sober and furious about his laughing fit embarrassment, decided to use the money as bait. He accidentally dropped his wallet near the PT boat, filled with marked bills, hoping to catch Logan in a theft. But Tortuga Cay had a resident that didn't care about naval law. Snappy, a 4-foot alligator with a penchant for leather and peanut butter. Snappy emerged from the swamp, saw the shiny leather wallet, and snapped it up. He then waddled directly into Barry's shack, seeking a snack. "Skipper," Barry screamed. "Snappy ate the Commodore. I found his ID card in Snappy's mouth." Barnaby arrived a moment later, seeing the crew gathered around the alligator. "Aha! Thieves! You've stolen the payroll." "The alligator took it, sir," Logan argued. "An alligator? Do you take me for a fool?" Barnaby sneered. "I'm calling a court-martial immediately. Parker, you're the lead suspect." The trial was a circus. Barry acted as his own lawyer. "Your Honor," Barry addressed the panel of officers, "I object. You cannot call Snappy a thief. He had an unhappy childhood. He's a victim of circumstance and a lack of fiber." Just as the judge was about to pass a sentence of 10 years in the brig, Logan burst in, leading Snappy on a leash made of garter belts. "Evidence, Your Honor!" Logan shouted. He offered Snappy a peanut butter sandwich. The alligator opened its jaws, and with a wet thwack, the wallet fell onto the table. Barnaby's face went white. "Wait!" "But sir," Ned whispered, "you said the payroll was in your wallet. And these bills are marked by you." The Admiral, who had been watching the proceedings with a mixture of horror and fascination, stood up. "Bellingham, did you just admit to using a base payroll to set a trap for your own officers, while an alligator was the only honest witness in the room?" Chapter 6. The Final Cannonade. The final blow came during the Admiral's farewell inspection. Barnaby was desperate to salvage his reputation. "We shall demonstrate our defensive capabilities," Barnaby announced, pointing to a vintage, ornamental cannon on the lawn. "Logan, fire the ceremonial salute." Logan looked at the cannon. It hadn't been fired since the Great War. It was stuffed with debris, old rags, and unknown to everyone, the actual bag of payroll money that Snappy had hidden there earlier. "Fire," Barnaby commanded. Boom. The cannon didn't fire a shell. Instead, it erupted in a cloud of green paper. $62,000 rained down upon the base like confetti. Sailors scrambled, nurses cheered, and the Admiral stood in the center of the blizzard, catching a $100 bill in his teeth. Barnaby collapsed into a chair. Logan stood tall, saluting as the money fluttered around his ears. "Well, Admiral," Logan said with a grin. Epilogue, status quo. A week later, Peace of a Sort returned to Tortuga Cay. Barnaby was back in his office, his eyebrows finally starting to grow back. He was currently staring at a letter from the Admiral. "He didn't fire me," Barnaby muttered. "He said the base has unique morale-building exercises." How? How does Logan always win? Outside, the SS Hilarity was pulling out of the harbor. Logan was at the helm. Barry was polishing a new medal he'd received for marksmanship via Alligator. And the crew was already planning their next mission to a nearby island known for its excellent pineapple wine. "Hey, Skipper," Barry called out. "I just found a message from the Admiral. He says he's coming back next month with his wife." Logan laughed, the tropical sun reflecting off his aviators. "Tell the boys to start training, Snappy. We're going to need a bigger cake." Barnaby's scream of Logan echoed across the water, a sound as familiar and constant as the tide itself. And in Paradiso, that was exactly how things were meant to be. The end, the chaos of Sector 7G, a tale of salt, scoundrels, and small-stakes mutiny. Chapter 1. The Lingerie Logistics Crisis. Commander Archibald Archie Sterling sat at his mahogany desk, which was slowly warping in the humid air of the Azure Archipelago. He was the head of Sector 7G, a logistics outpost for Titan Global Solutions, a private military corporation. To the world, they were elite security. To Archie, They were a collection of idiots who couldn't find their own boots in a brightly lit room. Wow, Archie whispered, staring at a supply request. Wow, wow, wow. Standing before him was Lieutenant Elroy the Toddy Finch, his sycophantic adjutant. Sir? Finch squeaked. Garter belts. Finch! Archie roared, slamming the paper down. The nursing staff is demanding garter belts. I am a decorated tactical commander, not a haberdasher. Why is this on my desk? The supply lines are tangled, sir. They say if they don't get the belts, they'll stop processing the medical insurance claims for the executive wing. Archie rubbed his temples. Inspector General Iron Jaws Vance is arriving today for a surprise inspection. Finch turned pale. Vance? The man who fired an entire battalion because their socks weren't the correct shade of charcoal? The same, Archie groaned. Look at this place. The sinks in the officers' lounge are backed up, the barracks smell like fermented coconut, and Captain Maverick Malone's crew is probably currently running a gambling ring out of the motor pool. Malone was the bane of Archie's existence. Maverick Mav Malone led the Gator Runners, a group of specialized boat pilots who were technically the best in the corporation, but behaved like a traveling circus. Archie's eyes suddenly gleamed with a desperate, treacherous light. He clutched his stomach. Oh, the pain. Finch. I'm sick. I'm terribly, dangerously ill. If I'm in the infirmary, I can't be held responsible for the state of the base. I'll appoint an acting commander. Someone Vance can blame when he sees the mess. Someone like Malone. Brilliant, sir, Finch cried. You'll be safely tucked away while Malone walks right into the firing line. Chapter 2. The Acting Commander. Captain Mav Malone walked into the infirmary with the swagger of a man who knew exactly where the best illicit rum was hidden. Behind him tripped Pip Clumsy Pringle, his nervous second-in-command. Commander Sterling? Mav asked, looking at Archie, who was currently draped dramatically across a hospital bed. Malone, Archie wheezed. The doctors, they don't know. It could be tropical gout. It could be brain fizz. I'm incapacitated. I'm appointing you acting base commander. Mav blinked. Me? Sir, I'm a saltwater skipper. I'm allergic to desks. My skin breaks out in hives if I'm more than 10 feet from a hole. It's an order, Archie snapped, then immediately returned to a pathetic moan. And Pringle, he'll be your executive officer. Pip Pringle's glasses nearly fell off his face. Me? Oh boy, did you hear that, Skipper? I'm an exec. I'll get a clipboard. I'll get 2 clipboards. As they left, Archie smirked. Finch, call the medics. Tell them I need a sedative. I want to be unconscious when the screaming starts. Mav Malone, however, didn't look worried. He looked like a man who had just been given the keys to the candy store. Within an hour, Sector 7G had changed. The strict corporate dress code was replaced by Hawaiian shirts. The Petty Officers Club was converted into a tiki bar. Skip, Pringle said, clutching his 2 clipboards. Forget the app, Pip, Mav said, leaning back in Archie's chair. We've got garter belts to find and a party to throw. Tell the boys, full speed ahead. Chapter 3. The Inspector and the Hula Hideout. Inspector General Vance arrived in a flurry of dust and screaming jet engines. He was a man composed entirely of sharp angles and bad intentions. Where is Sterling? Vance barked as he stepped onto the tarmac. Incapacitated, sir. Pip Pringle saluted, accidentally hitting himself in the eye with his clipboard. Acting Commander Malone at your service. Vance looked at Mav's unbuttoned shirt. Why is there music playing? Is that a ukulele? Morale, sir, Mav said smoothly. A happy worker is a productive mercenary. Meanwhile, Finch had whispered to Archie in the infirmary that Vance was heading toward the air raid shelter. The shelter? Archie hissed, sitting up. Why the shelter? Because Malone hid the entire morale unit, which consists of 12 hula dancers from the neighboring island inside it, when he heard Vance's plane land. Archie threw off his blankets. I have to be there. I have to see the look on Vance's face when he discovers the orgy. Archie arrived at the shelter just as Vance was reaching for the handle. Admiral, Sir, you have to look in here.